The basic methods we've developed to analyze trade in goods across regions can also be used to analyze trade in labor across regions. Whenever there exist wage differences between equally productive labor across regions or countries, there's an incentive for firms to find a way to hire in the lower wage region, even if it sells goods in the higher wage region. One way to do this is to simply relocate firms from the high wage region to the low wage region, and then export the goods that are produced back to the high wage region for sale. This is known as outsourcing labor. The other way is to not move firms, but rather to move labor from the low wage region to the high wage region. We'll analyze outsourcing in this graph first. Suppose, for instance, that the US is the high wage country, where the wage in the US without outsourcing or migration of labor is WUS. And suppose that India is the low wage country, where the prevailing wage in India, in the absence of outsourcing or migration of labor, is WI. The demand and supply curves in each of these markets is the demand for labor by domestic firms and the supply of labor by domestic workers. Outsourcing of labor will cause downward pressure on wages in the high wage country, with the quantity of labor supplied falling and the quantity of labor demanded increasing. It will similarly cause upward pressure in the low wage country, and these pressures continue until wages in the two countries for equally productive labor are equalized. At the new higher wage W star, the quantity of labor supplied by Indian workers will therefore increase, while the quantity demanded by Indian firms will decrease. While the demand curve by US firms remains the same, the demand by US firms in the US labor market decreases, which is what causes the downward pressure on wages in the United States. Similarly, in India, the demand by domestic Indian firms for labor remains the same. But because US firms are demanding more labor in India, overall demand is increasing and thus pushing up wages there. The difference between the quantity of labor demanded by US firms at the wage rate W star in panel A of the graph and the quantity of labor supplied by US workers is therefore the amount of labor that is being outsourced to India. Similarly, in panel B we see that at the wage rate W star there's a difference between the quantity supplied by Indian workers and the quantity of labor demanded by Indian firms. This difference is the amount of labor that's hired in India by US firms. It's important to keep in mind that we're assuming here that the productivity of labor is the same in the two countries. In the real world, outsourcing often does not fully equalize wages across countries because labor is more productive in the high wage country than in the low wage country. This is explored further in end of chapter exercise 20.2.